trailer load of grapes, fresh off the vine from the sunshine state of California. Headed east on 40, and there's red man buzzing up a young man dragging a boat to the southwest coast of Florida. Get your barracuda. And there's a semi smoking like a steam machine, running hot up a mountain hauling gasoline, huffing and a puffing. Brothers, that ain't nothing. See the get gone lane, there's a mad redhead drinking double shot black, lipstick on the edge of her Starbucks cup, closing shoes in the bed of that truck. Ain't a set of tail lights, she ain't passed, finger out the window, barefoot on the gas, she's hauling ass. Ain't nothing says ain't coming back like that. Feels like I'm sitting still, just a spinning my wheels, stuck in a traffic jam behind a red Trans Am. Dude's only doing 80, chasing after my baby. There goes a Lincoln, a beer train, hopper load of sweet grain, Cadillac, Hugos, guitars, pantyhose. God knows she's driving me crazy. I'm on a 911 highway patrol, report a girl out of missing, running out of control. Chillin' to turn her around, lay them spike strips down. See the get gone lane, there's a mad redhead drinking double shot black, lipstick on the edge of a Starbucks cup, closing shoes in the bed of my truck. Ain't a set of tail lights, she ain't passed, finger out the window, barefoot on the gas, she's hauling ass. Ain't nothing says ain't coming back like that. I think I see blue lights coming up from behind. If they pull me over on the shoulder, it's over. She'll be way too far down them yellow lines. In the get gone lane. Yeah, in the get gone lane. Drinking double shot black, lipstick on the edge of that Starbucks cup, closing shoes in the bed of my truck. Ain't a set of tail lights, she ain't passed, finger out the window, barefoot on the gas, she's hauling ass. I mean hauling ass. Ain't nothing says ain't coming back like that. Yeah, in the get gone lane. She's a hauling ass. You send this one out for all you hag fans out here on the highway.
You got that guitar now? Sounds good.
Oh yeah. Oh, come on with it, little Willie.
My hat don't hang on the same nail too long. My ears can't stand to hear the same old song. I don't leave the highway long enough, bogged down in the mud. I've got a rambling fever in my blood.
Man, oh man. Whew. Last couple days have been rough. Welcome back to Patriot Specialized, everybody. Hope everybody's having a pretty good week. This has been a flurry of activity over the past couple days for me. A couple different reasons. It started off on Monday with the port. Everything happened really fast there. I talked about that on my last episode. Everything happened real fast there, so I didn't get any footage of my delivery on the fire truck. I also picked up a excavator there, a John Deere 245 excavator that went up to Governor, New York. Didn't get any footage of that because of that situation as well. Just everything was just kind of really fast there. So I got delivered in Governor, New York yesterday, Tuesday, and about 24 miles away, I had a reload at Fort Drum, New York, at the Army base. It wasn't military equipment. It was for a power company, an energy company that has a wheel loader up there. They wanted to ship down to Albany, so didn't get any footage there because it's on base and there was a lot of activity going on behind us, and they just didn't want to film. So I didn't get any film at the pickup on that, but I got the unit on now. Stopped for the night here just short of Georgia. Wednesday evening, just stopped just short of Georgia, and I figured I'd jump out here and show you the load. A couple goofy things about this that went wrong, and we had to make some adjustments and get some things in line, and yeah, got interesting, got very interesting. But there's also something that was brought to my attention today that I'm going to bring up while I'm outside showing you the load. It's going to probably turn into a pop quiz, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just give you the answer right away. So let's right now, let's go out and take a look at this load. I'll show you what I got. She's a diamond in the rough, but what they tell me, it's a one faithful unit. All right. Pretty warm day out. Here's our baby right there. Pretty rough. I wouldn't say rough exactly, but definitely got a lot of use. From what I understand, it's going to continue to get use. So, all right, well, I'll cover securement real quick on this thing. Unit was supposed to weigh, they told me that it weighed roughly 60,000 pounds without the bucket. They figured it was 66,000 pounds with the bucket. They had a scale right there, so I'm assuming that I would have thought they would have known the weight exactly. I don't know if the scale worked or not, but they gave us a weight of 66,000 with the bucket on. They took the bucket off. I'm not 100% sure why, but they thought they needed to take the bucket off, so they took it off, and they estimated the weight at 6,000 pounds. I scaled it yesterday, and it actually turned out that this thing weighs about 53,000 pounds without the bucket. So we're a little over-secured, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what I did on it. The strap here, you see, that's because they put that piece of pipe in to hold up those two hydraulic shafts so that they wouldn't fall down onto the ground. So they put that piece of pipe in so it's resting on this arm here, on the arm of the front end loader. So I threw that strap over there just to kind of give that a little, make that tight, because I didn't want that pipe bouncing going down the road and then working itself out, and that would have been all bad. So that strap is there, but you know, it goes all the way across, so we get full credit for that on securement. So right there's 5,400 pounds of additional securement that I wasn't anticipating. So I did end up doing a standard cross chain up here, X chain off that lifting lug, just like I always do on excavators down the other side, or wheel loaders down the other side. Got our flag put on. I did the two X chains in the front, one going each way plus the strap. Then I put the two chains, the bracket on this thing that you use to slide it to close, like we talked about over and over again. It was all gummed up and had a bunch of crap in it, and I didn't think it was really going to move. So I just went ahead and threw two chains. You got to have securement anyways, so I just use these two chains as securement. So these two chains go all the way across. They start on this side of the trailer. One pulling forward, one pulling backwards. That stops both sides of this from being able to articulate. Get full credit for both of those. Here's our other, oh man, that thing might not make it all the way. That thing got stretched out. Flags right there. Here's what I did with the back. went right through their hitch point there. I just did 2 chains all the way across, so I got full credit for those as well. Make sure we had the right amount of chains. What this should have had at the 60,000 we thought it was, it should have ended up with about 5 chains. I should have ended up having to have 5 chains on it all the way across. So I tried to utilize that as much as I could coming all the way across, not doing X chains. That way I didn't have to put as many chains on, the extra chains to get the to make up for the half credit. So that's what I did for securement. Got our new flags on this side. I think I'm going to break out the other flags and the other new flags and put them on the other side. Because that one was stretched out pretty bad. Looks like it's about time for it to go. I believe this thing is a 980. It's supposed to be a 980 wheel loader. I don't see any marking on it to tell me that, but I believe it's a 980. That's what they said it was. Big enough. Interesting enough, even though this thing weighs 53,000 pounds, I really didn't squat my trailer much. We ended up being, they told me it was going to be 11 foot 6 inches wide. We actually ended up about 10 foot 6 inches wide, which is always good. You always want to end up under your permit. If anything, you don't want to end up over it. So that was good. And the height on it is where the problem came in. What we thought, it was supposed to be 12 foot 4 inches, and on my trailer, 12 foot 4 inches tall would have made a I'm going to jump back in the truck before I talk about that. It's going to be a little bit quieter. Sure, that's a little bit quieter. Warm down here in Georgia, or down here in the southern part of South Carolina, almost into Georgia. It's pretty warm, so everybody's running their trucks right now, trying to keep cool with the air conditioning. I know I am. The one thing I want to talk about was brought to my attention today, and it's pretty interesting. And I brought it up very early in my episode, very early on the beginning of my channel. I talked about it in one episode, and I had actually forgot that I talked about it, but I did talk about it in one episode. So I guess we'll see if you guys are paying attention in the early episodes. The gentleman that I did the episode on, I think it was the last episode actually, with the mini deck trailer, I talked to him today when one of you guys asked a question about how much his trailer weighed empty, and I had to call him to get the answer to that. So while we were on the phone, we were talking, and he's running some forklifts, short hop forklifts out of a port, and there were some guys there that were loading with him, and he was questioning some people's securement, and he brought it up on it. Robert brought it up. He said, "Hey man, you might want to talk about this on your channel because it seems like nobody knows it." But what that is I'm gonna give you a scenario here, and I'm gonna see if you can give me the answer. The scenario is, if you have a forklift that weighs, we'll call it 20,000 pounds, how many securement devices? It's also 20, we'll call it 18 foot long. 18 foot long, 20,000 pounds. How many securement devices do you have to have on that forklift? It's a standard forklift, rubber tire, whatever you want to call it. Weighs 18,000 pounds. We'll call it 20,000 pounds. How many securement devices do we need to secure that in legally? That's the question. That's the question that I'll answer at the end of this video. I was going to make you wait till the next one, but nobody seems to like that, so I'll go ahead and let you know. What's going on, everybody? Made delivery on the wheel loader that I just showed you in, oh man, where the heck did that thing go? I went to Albany, Georgia, but delivered in Albany, Georgia. Had a little bit of issues yesterday. I wanted to talk about that for a minute. I was booking a load yesterday to get me out of here, get me back up to Ohio. It's the, I hesitate to say 4th of July weekend because it's not really the weekend, but weekend before 4th of July, so looking to get back to the house. I was looking for a load and I found one on Internet Truck Stop that was picking up 56 miles away from my delivery and going up to Elba, New York, Batavia, New York area, which is Buffalo, which is not too far from my house. So was seemed like a pretty good fit. Had okay money on it, nothing super special, but when it gets you home on a Friday, you know, those rules change a little bit. Sometimes you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of money to get where you need to be. But that one, so I called that guy, I booked it. He said, yeah, no problem, it's yours. Took my information, did everything. Said, I'll send you the rate con. 3 hours later, still didn't have the rate con. I had called him a couple times, talked to him once. He said, yeah, I'm getting right to it, no problem. Never got it. So then I started calling him and he just wasn't answering. So after about 3.5 hours of that, I'm like, you know what, this obviously, there's something wrong here, and I'm just gonna, I can't wait, I'm gonna find another load. So I went looking for another load. I found another load pretty quick out of Claxton, Georgia, going to Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, an excavator. So I called them, got that booked. It was the same exact amount of money for way less miles, so that's a plus. So I got delivered in Albany, Georgia. Got delivered over there. Now I'm headed over to Claxton to load this excavator for Bell Vernon. With any luck here, I'm gonna get this thing loaded. I'll probably have 2.5 to 3 hours left on my logbook. I'm gonna try to run most of that off. Hopefully there's somewhere I can get to that'll let me run most of that out. That should, the Google Maps is telling me that it's 11 hours from Claxton to Bell Vernon, PA. 11 hours and 3 minutes, I think it said, something like that. So if I can run 3 hours off of it tonight, then I'm in pretty good shape to be able to get up and roll at daylight tomorrow morning and make delivery on that tomorrow afternoon before I head home. I'd rather do that, makes more sense. I live about an hour and a half north of Bell Vernon, so it would be beneficial to be able to kick that off on the way through and then go home empty. Not sure what next week's gonna bring. Holiday weeks like this, where the holiday's right smack in the middle of the week, it's tough for us. Like it's hard to overcome that and get a load that be home on the weekend. I mean, if you don't mind not being home on a weekend, then you load on Wednesday and roll and no big deal. But that's not how I roll, so not what I'm looking for. Possibly got something scheduled next weekend with the family, so I'm hoping that we'll see how this all works out, how this shakes loose. But that's what I'm doing right now. As soon as I get over here to Claxton, I'm gonna shoot a little bit of video on that. As you can see, I'm just kind of shooting a little bit of each one, and I'm gonna put it all together in one video, which you guys will see here, the next video I post. So I'm as soon as I get over Claxton and I'll get some video of us loading this excavator. Nothing I've done this week is anything you haven't seen. I did deliver that fire truck on Monday, but everything else is things that you've all seen, and the securement's exactly the same as it always is. So I didn't really feel like there was a whole lot of information I could give you with the load. There is some stuff that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. After I get loaded and get a little bit of trucking done, there is some information I'm going to share with you about a couple of these loads. There was some interesting stuff, some permit stuff that I think is beneficial to know. I started to tell you, I made a video last night of the wheel loader that we just delivered, and unfortunately my mic decided not to work. And I was at a truck stop. It was super noisy, so I'm going to use some of that video, but most of that video was you almost couldn't hear me at all. So, and the part I was talking about with permits on that one, that's part you couldn't hear. So as soon as I get loaded and get moving, I'm going to shoot another video, and we'll talk about that permit situation and what I did to overcome that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's our way of life. We're the last of the cowboys to giddy up gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James, modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. It's a family tradition, diesel's running through our veins. Our daddy showed us the roads, we were born in the fast lane. Branded by our heroes, taught to saddle up and move. We keep this country rolling, we're damn proud of what we do. We're the last of the cowboys, the giddy up gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James, modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Third time generation, little old school salvation. Blazing trails across this nation, sea to shining sea. We're the last, we're the last, we're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. The giddy up go boys.
Right, all right, all right, all right, all right. It's Thursday, June 29th. Got our wheel loader empty this afternoon. I got there, actually it was this morning. I got there about, I think it was about 10:30-ish, 10:45. Got it kicked off. It was super simple. Real good delivery. Those guys, they just had me pull in the entrance, park right there, do my thing, and then the guy running the bulldozer was watching me the whole time. He just, whenever I was close, he just got out of his bulldozer, walked over, took it off, signed for it. Pretty simple delivery. It was good. Took me 32 minutes, I think, total. So that was good. It's exactly what I needed because I booked a load in Claxton, Georgia, that it was like 160 some miles away. So I had to be there by 3 o'clock, they said. So I called them, made my appointment for right at 3. I ended up getting there about 2:30. And you see a little bit of footage of that, me pulling in there. And got loaded up. Pretty simple. Very, very good process they got. You check in, go around back, load up, pull out. They washed the machine, which they did a terrible job, and they got my trailer trashed. But they washed the machine off, make it look worse than it did when they put it on. And then you pull up from the wash bay, and they check the machine over, check the serial number, take some pictures of it, and then you're out of there. So it's pretty streamlined process, pretty good to go, other than the washing. That was a little on the sketchy side, but it is what it is. I figured I'm currently in Columbia, South Carolina, where I made it to tonight. Got stopped with, oh man, I don't know, I think I had about 11 minutes to spare. Got some fuel, so I'm ready for the morning. Currently waiting in line for a shower. I think I'm number 2 in line, it looks like right now. So I figured I'd jump out real quick, show you the load, get some film on that, and ooh, now I'm number 1 in line, so better do this quick. Oh, here we go. It was crazy hot down here in Georgia. I think it was 100 degrees when I was loading, and not gonna lie, man, I don't drink enough water. I was getting a little bit worried there for a couple minutes that I ended up getting back in the truck and sitting in the air conditioning for a few minutes because I was really, it was bad. I thought I was going down. So here's our load right here. Pretty nice looking load. The Sany SY225C with the bucket and the thumb. Load's 11 foot 1 inches wide, 11 foot tall, which is a little under 11 foot the way we got it tucked in. Got the bucket and the thumb on it. Total weight on it is, they're telling me, is about 55,000 pounds. So we secured as such. Securement was pretty simple. I did something on this one I don't normally do. I put the bucket straight on the deck. I don't normally do that, but on this one I was concerned about height if I put it on a block. So, and it's pretty stable, brand new, so the hydraulics are good. So what I did for securement on this one, I got one strap over the arm. I decided to use a strap because I didn't want to scratch it up. So use a strap, put some edge protection in. That full credit for that one goes all the way across. Then I hooked my chains in standard X chain, hooked my chains, went across both sides. I was checking that out under there, making sure I wasn't hitting that bucket underneath. I'm not, we're good. No, that's good. Of course, somebody has a backup beeper. And then I did one chain coming off the trailer here, going through the eyelet in the middle over to the other side to get full credit for that chain. Got the new flags on. 4 corners of loads marked. And on the back, I did the same exact thing as the front. I'm hearing air leaking somewhere here. I think it's the guy behind me. I'm gonna have to check that out. Anyways, look at this trailer. This is what they left me with. That's fantastic. They washed their machine off, but don't worry about our trailer. So I did standard X-chain just like up front, X-chain across off the tracks, and then did the same thing, one chain going right up through the center eyelet there, coming over to the other side. So what we got to have on this thing, given it's 55,000 pounds, we've got to have 27,500 pounds of securement. I have basically 4 full chains at 6,500 each. So that puts us at, what is that, 24 plus 2,000, 26,000 plus the strap up front, which is a full 5,400. So that puts us well over 30,000 pounds of securement on the load itself. So that is, man, this air leaking back here has got me worried. I'm really worried that it's my trip. I'm gonna have to check this out. Man, I don't know where it's coming from. It's definitely not coming from my trailer, so that's good. I don't know what that is. Anyways, that gives us well over 30,000 pounds of securement on the load, so we're good to go weight-wise there. Load delivers in Belle Vernon, PA, which is like on the way to my house, and I'm currently about 8.5 hours out. So I can leave here about 6 o'clock in the morning. That should get me to delivery while they're still there in the morning or in the afternoon tomorrow, and get this thing kicked off, and then I'll probably just run home empty. So I'm gonna go ahead and check my shower situation. When I get back out, there's a couple things I'm gonna talk about, permits I talked earlier about that I was gonna bring it up, let you guys know what the deal is with that. So as soon as I get done with the shower, get something to eat, I will shoot a quick film and talk about that. Talk to you soon. All right, so the answer to the question, 4. You have to have 4 securement devices on that. Not because of weight, not because of length, well, I guess it could be because of your chains. Check the rating on your chains. I'm assuming that we're talking about 3/8 chains rated at 6,500 pounds each, like I run. It would still require me to put 4 chains on there. 4 securement devices. The way the law reads, any wheeled vehicle requires 4 points of securement, no matter what. No matter what the weight is, the length is, the height is, it doesn't matter. You have to have 4 points of securement on any wheeled vehicle that you're hauling on a trailer. Now you could do what I do a lot, where you use 2 chains, 4 binders, run a chain across, use 1 chain as 2 binders. You could do that, and that's legal, because you have 4 points of contact. That's what you got to have on any wheeled vehicle. And it seems like, from what Robert said earlier, he was looking around, there was a lot of people there, a lot of different people there loading these forklifts, and he was the only one that he saw that pulled out of there with the correct amount of securement. That's what you need for securement on any wheeled vehicle, and I'm glad he brought it up. Thanks, Robert, for bringing that up and getting me to talk about it again. That's definitely something this channel's about, and I want to let people know.
Driving trucks, eating chicken